Hello and welcome to another video. I need to be extremely transparent with you. I haven't been doing these videos as consistently as I wanted to start with. COVID meant that I had to have a shift in my own business. So for those who don't know, I was a personal trainer in my own personal training studio. I ran my own business for 5-6 years, but I've been a personal trainer for 11 or 12 years. So COVID hit, it shut down the gym, which meant that I had to pivot and go fully in online, which has been amazing because it's been the birth of my baby, Built to Perform. And Built to Perform is a coaching platform for highly driven professionals to maximize their energy, health, and performance and become the best version of themselves in body, business, and life. That being said, talking about missions, I'm on the pursuit at the minute to become the biggest, strongest, fastest, leanest version of myself on 2 wheels. And I'm venturing into the world of cycling. And just to recap, I've never been a cyclist before, ever. My values and beliefs were very much built upon the typical bodybuilding world, training aesthetically and getting stronger and more defined and having pecs, abs, shoulders, arms, all that stuff. Because I understand that how you look has a direct correlation on how you feel. So I've always trained in that capacity. But before that, I was actually in the performance world of football. I was a goalkeeper for a long time. I've sort of gone full circle back around to where now I'm currently sitting, which is cycling, which is so much deeper for me and so much closer to my own values and beliefs. So anyway, the birth of Project Muscle on Wheels. I'm now in week 41. So I've been doing this for 41 weeks. And this started at the birth of my dad passing away. I did an event for charity, which I haven't even spoken to you about yet, which was the Yorkshire Beast, which is a sportive run by WK41. So I've done the Yorkshire Beast, which is 200 miles with over 18,000 feet of elevation, and you're being chased at 12.5 miles per hour. That is the hardest thing I've ever had to do. To say the least, that was the biggest challenge and the biggest test physically that I've done in endurance since starting the world of cycling. Then I did the Cheshire Cat, which was next. I've just more recently done that about 4 or 5 weeks ago, which was 100 miles around Cheshire. There was no time pace that you were being chased at. It was 100 miles, and I think the elevation was around 5,000 to 6,000 feet, potentially more. So it wasn't anywhere near as bad. But to say the least, it was another sportif and another challenge and another event that I did. What is the plan and the schedule now? So going forwards into next year, there's some pretty big events that I'm looking at doing. Anyway, I'm on week 41. So week 41 is going to consist of now building an even stronger base to push off. So my FTP is currently sitting at 348 and I'm 100 kilos. So again, this is very much against the typical cycling realm, because what I'm finding is that a lot of cyclists get overwhelmed with weight. Now, on the one hand, I completely understand, because net weight on the bike is going to have a huge impact and a huge difference. But again, I just want to build as much strength and as much power and as much endurance as I can and see what the ceilings of that potential is, versus me just having the goal of dropping net weight to get faster, to go further, to get leaner. I'd rather go the other way. So yeah, that's what Project Muscle on Wheels is. For the weekly plan, I like to prioritize that Mondays are high intensity, low volume. So what I mean by that is power, strength, or sprint training on a Monday. And then as the week goes on Tuesdays, I will slightly decrease the intensity and slightly increase the volume. That routine will happen all the way throughout the week until I reach Saturday or Sunday, where the intensity is really low and the volume is really high. So it allows me to do really low intensity rides for longer distances. And that's sort of the schedule which I've been following and I've had real good success from. And I've seen, if anything, quite a linear progression. Now the argument is, well, I've never done cycling before, so you are going to see gains at that capacity pretty quickly because it's a new stimulus and you're going to adapt pretty quickly to that. I'm going to be interested to see what happens when I get to week 52, because that's going to be a full year of Project Muscle on Wheels. So I'm really interested to see what's going to happen with that as well. One thing I haven't mentioned is the types of training that I'm going to be doing on strength days. So obviously I'm going to do lower body work, but I'm also going to continue doing upper body work and core work, which is huge. For me this week, what I'm going to take you through today is an upper body training session, typically in the week. These sort of sessions sit on a Tuesday or Wednesday. The intensity is relatively high, but the volume is quite low. So it's a nice day to sort of do on that Tuesday or Wednesday. It currently fits on those days for me. So I'm on the cycle at the minute of doing upper body and lower body. I've just come off the cycle of doing total body 1, total body 2. So for me at the minute, there are some weaknesses, and those weaknesses are primarily in my lower and upper back, because obviously, as you can imagine, when you're in the saddle for a long period of time, you need to have a level of endurance, yes, but also a level of strength that will allow you to be in that position for a long period of time. So I'm currently building up that level of strength, which is going to require different types of components to the typical strength and aesthetic training that I've always done, which is amazing because I love the challenge of doing it and it's something new. So I'm going to take you through that session today and explain what I'm doing, why I'm doing it. So let's get ready, pre-workout on board, and let's head to the gym. Okay, so first exercise on this program is a standing cable wood chop, 3 sets of 10 reps each side. This is a really, really good anti-rotation exercise. And this is followed by a hanging leg raise. You can actually regress this and do it on a Roman chair, which is basically a dip bar machine. But for me, I'm just doing it straight in from a hanging position. 3 sets of 10 reps. So this program primarily is going to be in a superset fashion. So one exercise followed by another in the opposing muscle groups. So firstly, I'm going to be doing a horizontal push-pull for the first half, and then I'm going to move it to a vertical push-pull in the second part. So everything primarily to start with is going to be chest and back, and then for the second part of the session, it's going to be shoulders and back, because obviously you can attack the back from 2 different angles. That being said, the first exercise here is a flat dumbbell chest press, 4 sets of 4 to 6 reps with a slow tempo of 3-0-1-0. Okay, and this is going to be superset first of all with a dumbbell single arm row. Now, as you can probably see from how I'm moving the dumbbell, I'm actually pulling back ever so slightly in that sort of backwards J shape, which is obviously what we're trying to do is engage that bottom part of the lat. What a lot of people do is just pull the dumbbell straight up and down, so they overactivate their shoulder, therefore not actually doing anything with their lats. So it's a really good tip to pull backwards and try and create that backwards C or that backwards J sort of shape, pulling in towards your hips. Okay, now so we're going to move on to the next superset. This is starting off with a slight incline dumbbell alternate chest press. So as you can see, I'm actually moving around and fidgeting quite a bit. That is basically me trying to stabilize the fact that I'm loading one arm first and then the other. So it is actually a really strong core exercise, and we are working primarily for 6 to 8 reps each arm. So a total of 12 to 16 reps in total. So you are actually under tension for a long period of time, and therefore the tempo is 2-0-1-0. And this is superset with a dumbbell bent over row, and unlike any other exercise when it comes to back, if you are supported by a bench or supported by a machine, then obviously there's less tension going through your posterior chain, which serves its purpose. But this exercise in particular, you're having to hold and stabilize a bent over position whilst you're actually pulling mechanical load at the same time. So it is actually recruiting a lot of work through that posterior chain. So this is a dumbbell bent over row for 10 to 12 reps. Okay, so at this point in the program, we have flipped the switch and we are working in a vertical push-pull position in comparison to what we were doing, which was everything in a horizontal push-pull position. So this exercise in itself is already starting with one knee. So your body is having to keep stable. Not only that, you are also working one arm at the same time. So this is not only a great shoulder exercise, this is actually an amazing core stability exercise as well. So each arm we are completing 8 to 10 reps for a total of 3 sets. And this is superset with everybody's favorite, which is a wide grip pull-up. Now I must confess at this point, they don't have in the gym a belt to hold additional weight, so I would do a weighted chin up, so I've had to resort to doing a wide grip bodyweight pull up. That being said, to compensate for that, I've slowed the tempo down, so 3 seconds down, 1 second pull back up, for a total of 5 to 8 reps for 3 sets. Okay, so we're moving on to our final 2 moves for this program, or main moves I should say. We've got a standing dumbbell neutral press, so very similar to a kneeling single arm press. You are having to stabilize through your core and keep your elbows tucked in nice and tight, driving through the midline of your body, for a total of 6 to 10 reps for 3 sets. Okay, so final move is a close grip pull down for 6 to 10 reps. Now I'm making sure that at the top of the move I'm really overstretching my lats and obviously moving my shoulder blades up, and then as I pull down I'll make sure that I retract my shoulder blades back and down and squeezing into my lats as I pull the weight down just below my chin into my upper chest. Okay, so just to finish off with some absolute legendary classics and favourites, we've got EZ bar bicep curl to start us off, 3 sets of 6 to 10 reps. And that is going to be superset with a slight incline EZ bar skull crusher for the same, which is 3 sets of 6 to 10 reps. Moving on to our last 2 exercises for this program, and these are heavy isolation moves for the bicep and the tricep. So very similar to a lean away dumbbell lateral raise, this lean away dumbbell curl is just promoting a different angle, therefore a different stimulus to shock that bicep in this isolation capacity. So what we're looking for is 3 sets of 10 to 12 reps, or potentially 10 to 15 reps each arm. To finish, we've got a tricep push down, and this is actually in a drop set capacity. So the first set, I'm actually going to stay quite close to the cable, and it's going to be 8 to 10 reps. And then as we move on through the exercise, we're going to drop the pin 50% down, and then I'm actually going to move backwards as well, just to promote a little bit of a different angle, and finish off with as many reps as possible at 50% of the original weight. So 8 to 10 reps to start with, fairly heavy, and then dropping 50% down, moving backwards, and finishing off with as many reps as possible.